saying if you want something different, then clearly you can't be doing the same thing that you're doing right now, because you're going to keep ultimately getting the same result. So if I want something different for myself, I had better be willing to do it differently, even if that different means uncomfortable. So everything and every part of who we are is a series of habits that we've created over many, many years. So whether you're in your 20s, your 30s, your 40s, your 50s, your 60s, all that is learned behavior. Just as you learned the behavior to begin with, you can unlearn and change the behavior. That is the beauty of being a human being, is that we can relearn, we can teach, and we can form new habits, and we can do different, but we have to want to. Okay, I want this for myself, but I more than want it, I need it for myself, right? So there's one thing, okay, I want that ice cream, but I need my health. So which one is more important? The bit of satisfaction that you get from one particular thing for just a moment because you say that you want it, or the need to feel better about yourself. And that's not to say that anything that you currently eat or you choose to do can't be a part of living a healthy lifestyle. But you can't have regret about it. You can't feel bad about doing it. What you decide to do, doesn't matter what anybody else chooses to do. You have to feel strong enough in your conviction and know exactly what it is that you want for yourself. And to know, okay, I either am going to allow myself to deviate and be okay with that, or say, okay, when I go into this situation, this is what needs to happen. Healthy's not a look. Healthy can be any size. Healthy can be, but you do have to feel it. You have to feel it, because you can look at somebody and they could, to you, look healthy, okay? And not be. Don't let it be about the physicality of it. Of course, we look at people and we think, oh, you know, they must be doing everything right. And sometimes they're doing everything wrong. Sometimes they're not eating enough. Sometimes they're overtraining, and what they're doing to their body is excessive, and they're damaging it, and they're creating stress fractures, and they're tired all the time, and they're not healthy. In the journey, everything has to be completely transparent. You have to be very, very honest with yourself with exactly what you're doing. Sometimes when people will say, well, I am doing everything right, but are you doing what you feel is what you should be doing to get the results that you want? Now, the focus shouldn't be about the weight. The focus should be about making the choices that are the best, that make you feel good in the choices that you made. To me, if it comes from the earth, if it comes from the ground, and it is as unrefined, as untouched as possible, that's always your best option. Part of it is just planning ahead. It's not allowing for the excuses to play a part in your life. The I don't have enough time, everybody has the same amount of time. So why can one person do it and another person not? And it's not to say that I don't have any more time than you have. I don't have any more time than you have. We have exactly 24 hours in our day. How we choose to spend it is entirely up to us. And what we choose to do with that time. So if I sit down in front of a TV for 2 hours and then say that I don't have enough time, I just don't want to make the time. I haven't prioritized and said, okay, listen, my health, what I want for myself, is far more important than Law and Order. Get a TiVo. Get rid of the commercials, watch one show instead of two. It's not to say that you can't, you know, life is to be enjoyed. But then you have to think about, okay, well, if my enjoyment comes from having to sit down and watch TV, then I have to evaluate that. How about you read a book instead? How about you go for a walk with your husband? Get your child involved. How about you do something like that instead of feeling like, to me, that's unwinding. Some people say, well, I don't want to think about anything. Well, what are you thinking about when you're going for a casual stroll? What exactly do you have, what are you processing? And you're out in the fresh air, you're doing things, you're being active. Your child is part of that. You're spending time with your loved ones. and do something as a family. Meet at a park at night, do something different. And now that's not to say that you have to change all of your eating and you have to start going outside and walking. I can't watch any TV. She told me I can't watch TV. It's not about that. It's casually and slowly starting to introduce and starting to take things out of your life that don't serve you. And it comes down to, listen, this is what you have. This right here, that is yours for the rest of your life, however long that may be. And hopefully it will be very long. You have an opportunity to change future generations. You have the opportunity to do things differently and to change things for your son or daughter. For your daughter. And that comes from actions, not words. It comes from treating yourself with respect. And when she sees you do that, she will start to treat herself with respect. Take things that you believe, write them down. Write down, I am worth it. Write down, I am beautiful. Write those things down. Stick them on your mirror. I don't care if you have just one little square that you can just see so you can brush your teeth. Cover it in things that you can repeat, that you can look at every day, so that you are reinforcing that new behavior, that better self-talk, that belief in yourself. You have to believe that you can do it. You have to believe that you're worth it. That's one of the biggest things. Even if you don't like yourself, even if you hate yourself enough, you have to believe that you can do it. And the struggle is when you get to a point when you've tried to do it so many times and you haven't been successful, and then you go, well, what's any different this time? What's going to make this time any different? Your ultimate desire and wanting to make the change. That either hating yourself enough or recognizing this is it. This is it. It boils down to personal responsibility and accountability for self. Nobody else can do it. Only you can do it, and you have to want to do it. You have to need to do it. And that need has to override everything else. When you start to think it truly, you start to believe it. When you start to believe it, your actions start to change. When your actions start to change, everything else starts to shift. You feel better. When you feel better about a choice that you made, you start to walk a little bit differently. When you start to walk a little bit differently, the other choices in your life start to become a little bit different. When you feel good about yourself, you don't reach for something to comfort you in that way anymore, because you feel differently. You feel good. You feel strong enough and capable enough that you don't need that. You just need your self-assurance. You need to believe enough in yourself that you're worth it. To do things differently, to continue to do them differently, to tweak them every once in a while, to check yourself and go, there's that thought, I don't believe it. Get out of here, thought, and let it go. Because they will enter into your mind. The self-doubt will come. How old are you?
35 this year.
35. 35 years, I'm sure, of self-doubt. 35 years of maybe believing that you're not good enough for it. 35 years of conditioned behavior. You're at a place where you are because there's 35 years that got you there. So those 35 years don't change overnight. Every day, step. Don't worry about tomorrow. Yesterday, what could I learn from? Another day, another opportunity to make wonderful choices. Could I have done some things yesterday differently? Sure. Another day. That's it. I'm worrying about right now, what's in front of me, right? It's important to plan. It's important to be as prepared as we possibly can be, but ultimately all you have control over, right this second, that's it. Then it's gone. Right this second, then it's gone. I couldn't possibly be okay where I am. That would mean that like I'm done my journey. No, you're never done your journey. You're never done your journey. Our best is always under construction, whether that's on pushing physically, whether that is still getting to a point where we are talking about, getting up. And I talk about, and I will stress, like, just get in your house and look in the mirror and just yell at yourself, not yelling like in a bad way, but just with affirmation. I am awesome! I love myself. I love my life. this, Angel. Touch your heart. Touch your heart. You feel the rise and the fall of your chest? The beating of your heart? Some people don't have that. And that doesn't mean to dismiss the feelings that you have. That certainly doesn't mean, because those are real. And that's something that you are working through. But the reality is, you are working on that. That heartbeat that you have right now, you have made stronger. That rise and fall of your chest, you have done that. You've had people that have supported you along the way, and all of those things are important, but you have made a commitment to change your life for the better, to be a better version of yourself, to be the person that you ultimately want to be. And you are becoming that person. You're not there yet. It will take time. And there will be bumps along the road. But you have to remind yourself of the bigger picture. You have to remind yourself of how far you've come. You have to remind yourself of what you do have. You have to remind yourself of how hard you did push. And that you have another opportunity to do it again. But this is real. The beating of the heart, the rise and the fall of the chest, how can you make that even better? That's your health. That right there, shit happens every day. Things happen. We don't have control over everything, but you do have control of yourself. You do have control over the choices that you make. That's powerful, especially when the world around you is so crazy. Things like that are happening. We can't control that. But what you do every single day, what you do have control over, control. And control it with dignity, with integrity, with respect for yourself, respect enough to know that, one, you deserve it, and that this is all you get. This is it.